Hello, everybody. Welcome to Take Your Medicine. I am Toby, and it has been way too freaking long. I think it's been since October since we've recorded an episode. There's been so much exciting movement in my life, so many wonderful things happening, and it's been very difficult to continue to incorporate this show into my work. I need to find a balance. And I really feel like I'm closer than ever to finding that balance. This new year is giving me an opportunity to recalibrate and reset. My goal last year was 100 episodes in the year 2024, and I made it to 52. I made it more than half. This is probably the most consistent creative project I've ever worked on, so I have to be proud of myself, even though I didn't make it to 100. I'm really grateful to be where I'm at. And today, Billy, it's episode 53, January 2nd, 2025. Here we are in a new year, a new president about to take over. What a time to be alive. There is so much going on. I have so many thoughts. There are all kinds of things happening in our skies. There are things that the government is trying to keep from us. There is all kind of activity, and I am having these really cool channeling experiences and getting insight into all of it, and I am just ready more than ever to share my heart, share the messages of awakening and love and healing, and teaching others to open their heart and open their other senses beyond the five so that they can find their healthiest, happiest, most highest potential life for themselves. And Billy, can you come over here? You're making noise. Thank you. Can you lay down? You're so cute. Did you all miss Billy? Look at her. Look at her. She threw tissues all over the backyard yesterday, didn't you? She loves to be naughty, but we love her. Anyway, on November 4th of 2024, just a little bit ago, I it marked the 20th year since I have been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. On November 4th of 2004, I was given that diagnosis, multiple sclerosis. Two of my aunts had already been diagnosed, as well as other people in my family. It was extremely devastating. I only had one child. I wanted to have a lot of children. They told me to not have any more children. They told me to expect to be in a wheelchair within 10 years. I had lesions all over my brain and my spine, and there's no cure for multiple sclerosis. And that set me on a path toward figuring out my own health. It was declining very, very quickly. I ended up having 3 more children and then another in 2013. So 5 total, and it has been a journey to figure out how to heal myself and to free myself from this disease. And I can honestly say that I feel completely healed of it. I totally want to get new MRIs so that I can compare the MRIs of this incurable disease literally being cured by aliens, by angels, by dragons, by medicine work, by meditation, through diet. All of these things that I have learned have literally healed not only my body, but every aspect of my life. And so now it is such a joy and such a blessing to get to share that with others. And so that has been really, really fun. It's funny that when I was diagnosed November 4th, 2020, or 2004, I'm sorry, November 4th, 2004, I was, I believe, 21 years old, yes. And I was so saddened and felt so lonely with this diagnosis. I didn't want to tell anybody. My husband at the time was at work And I remember it was freezing cold that day in Utah where I lived. And I went to Target, and we were super broke at the time. And I remember spending like $300 or $400 on presents for the people in my family. I remember getting my sister Bryn this black scarf that I thought was really beautiful, and everybody in my family a little present. And it just felt like something to do to get my mind off of this diagnosis, is to get a bunch of presents for people with money that I totally didn't have. Retail therapy. And then I went home and I planted a tree, an evergreen tree, in the frozen ground. And I remember being out there trying to dig into the frozen ground and crying, and just being out there wrestling with myself and the earth and feeling sad and cold. And my neighbor, he came over. He was an older man, and he came over, and I just started crying, and I told him what happened, and he just held me as I cried. And then he grabbed the shovel, grabbed a second shovel, and he started digging that frozen hole with me. And that night we planted a tree together, and that tree is still in that yard. That neighbor still lives there, and sent me, my friend Pamela, who was next door, she sent me a picture of that tree recently, and it is big and beautiful, and such a symbol of my own overcoming and healing. And what a wild turn of events for the trees to end up being my very best friends on this earth, my greatest teachers. And so, what a world, what a life. So, um, also, since I have seen you last, I got to help facilitate a women's retreat in Sedona again through the space in Cave Creek. If you are not familiar with the space in Cave Creek, Arizona, and you live in the valley, I highly recommend checking it out. We have cacao and community at 5:30 tomorrow there, and I'll be preparing the cacao for that ceremony. So we would love to have you come and join. I also do a soul circle every third Wednesday of the month, and that is where we come and we are allowed to just be and move and meditate and channel and do all of the things we share. It's just a very safe space for us to connect with one another and to let go of what we do not need, and leave it there and move on with our week in a more positive, healthy, productive, connected way. So Soul Circle is something that I'm really, really excited to be facilitating once a month. If you are in Phoenix, check it out. So in Sedona at this women's retreat, I was so grateful I was able to bring my daughter Anna. And so this was our first experience getting to have something like this, where it's, a few days of spiritual learning and connecting and growing together, me and my baby girl. It was so beautiful. We got to stay in this gorgeous resort. Everything was paid for. What a blessing to be manifesting all of this in my life. I remember telling AJ a couple years ago, like, I wish I could go to these beautiful retreats. I want to connect, but they're so expensive and I can't afford it. And now everything in my life that I want is just literally coming to me for free, easier, more beautiful, more glorious than I could have ever even imagined it showing up in my life. It's showing up. This work is real. It's worth it. It's worth walking through the dark tunnel of our own healing and our own shadow work to come out into the light on the other side, and then be able to see with clarity, to enjoy everything without being triggered by everything, to just simply be in the world and to enjoy the world as it is, even with the heartache and the devastation and we are in a much better place when we are healed, to be able to offer comfort for those who are suffering, to help those who are in a less ideal circumstance than we are. The most important thing we can do for this hurting planet is to heal ourselves, to go inward and to see what we need to be our happiest, healthiest selves, to remove the programming that is feeding systems that do not even align with our truest hearts. We are so programmed to just be looking down and feeding all of these systems that aren't even benefiting us. And so It's my job to help people to look up and to start to create some awareness around the patterns in their lives, around what they're attracting into their lives, to start to chip away at the programming, to clear a lot of the things that are holding us back so that we can feel more empowered, more in control, more like ourselves, the most authentic, healthy, happy version of ourselves. So in Sedona, to be able to manifest getting to go to this retreat and bringing my daughter and eating delicious meals and the beautiful views, and we got to go into this very little known portal in Sedona. Treasure Milanovic, the owner and leader of the Space Collective in Cave Creek, is the one who was putting on this women's retreat. And she guided us into this gorgeous portal in Sedona. It was surrounded by trees and red rock walls, and the birds and the energy was so intense. And it's just this massive, not massive, but pretty small actually clearing. And it's very clear that this is a space that is sacred and highly energetic. And there we held ceremony. And it was such a beautiful experience to be there with my daughter, sharing my gifts. I, for the first time publicly, channeled the dragons in that portal. And it was such a beautiful experience. It was very vulnerable for me to unleash the dragon energy. Treasure was so gracious to allow me to share my gifts freely. I grabbed Treasure's drum, and wow, what a beautiful drum Treasure has. I love it so much. I still can feel the energy of that drum in my body. What a beautiful, beautiful instrument and energy that drum holds. But I started drumming, and the dragons started coming through, and everyone in the circle started releasing their dragon energy, and it was this very powerful, energetic dragon release into this portal in Sedona, and it was magnificent. And afterwards, several of the women came up to me and said, I just realized I have a lot more dragon energy to release. Like, I did not know that existed, and I want more. And so it's very exciting to be able to introduce this, circle of women and anybody who wants to learn and to connect to dragon energy. I have been initiated by the dragons multiple times now. It is a very real, very intense, very powerful experience. And when they initiate you, they're also putting all kinds of healing energies and downloads of intelligence into you. And then it's like, now I walk with dragons. I feel the dragons with me. I feel guided by the dragons. I grew up not believing in dragons whatsoever, which is just so funny. I hated anything to do with mysticism, anything with wizards or magic or dragons or fairies. I was like, no, thank you. And of course, my husband grew up reading dragon books his whole life and loving dragon lore. And so all of a sudden now, his wife, who hated anything to do with dragons, is one with the dragons. The last time we journeyed together, no, 2 times ago, we have journeyed, AJ and I journeyed together, about 3 weeks to a month ago. And in that journey, we were opened up to new energies, new entities to channel, new dragon energy. We were able to work with Shiva for the first time. What a powerful and beautiful entity Shiva is. Wow, wow, wow. And in the journey before that, AJ and I were working with the dragons, and AJ many times throughout that journey saw smoke billowing out of my nose, and he kept thinking that I was using incense or something. He's like, where is the smoke coming from? And it wasn't. It was literally my dragon energy coming through, and he was just seeing smoke. And my best friend Iggy that whole day kept smelling smoke and going outside thinking there was a fire outside. And the entire journey where he was smelling the smoke, I kept smelling smoke. And or when he was seeing the smoke, he was also smelling smoke, and so was I. And it's ever since that journey, I feel very, very connected to the energy and the medicine of smoke. I love to use copal. I love Palo Santo. I love Nag Champa incense. And the cleansing properties and the transmuting energy and power of smoke work has become very close to my heart. It's something I use in ceremony a lot. And I absolutely love it. So I'm so grateful for these experiences with the dragons and with these other beings. I have had such magnificent experiences now where I am to the point where I'm super comfortable with this work, doing, talking about it. I've gained new confidence in myself and in these beings. There is no way to deny the shit that is happening to me. And so I'm just here owning it. I actually journeyed just a few days ago. Let's see, Monday, and today is Thursday. So on Monday, I journeyed, and this was the very first time in my entire life that I fully journeyed with another person other than AJ. And that was beautiful and intense and in a lot of ways difficult, but it was so wonderful and so good to just get into that space and with somebody else, and to know that Jesus Kate still comes through very powerfully, even with someone else there. And it actually happened that two more people, so I channeled on Monday in front of 3 new people. And Jesus Kate was so incredibly excited to be connecting with new intelligences. She absolutely loves AJ. She's obsessed with AJ. She loves his intelligence. She loves working with him. Anytime I journey and AJ isn't there, she shows up and she's like, "Where the fuck is AJ? Why is AJ not here?" She loves AJ. But to be introduced to new intelligences was very exciting for her and very exciting for me. I got to do a channeled reading for a beautiful sister that showed up completely unexpectedly. I swear Jesus Kate brought her to me herself. And when I heard, her name is Pandora, and when I heard Pandora's voice, I heard her say something like, "Is Jesus Kate in here?" And holy shit, Jesus Kate was so excited. She was like, "Pandora!" She just like screamed her name, and Pandora came in, and Jesus Kate was like, "Okay, girl, come on." Like, she wanted her to just sit right in front of her and looked right into her eyes. And holy shit, through Jesus Kate, I was able to see thousands of years into Pandora's lineage, her ancestral lineage. I got to have this beautiful vision of her essence as a human on this earth, her past lives. It was so intense and so beautiful and so new for me to experience with someone else. And that gets me so excited for being able to do this work with other people who are seeking spiritually, who want to come and connect with Jesus Kate and have insight into their life and into their other past lives and parallel lives and into their spiritual gifts. Jesus Kate is extremely telepathic. And so she's picking up on all of the information at once, and it is so intense on my body, but it's so beautiful and so powerful. And the entire channeling experience is a healing experience for me too. It's physically healing my body whenever I am channeling, even though it's physically exhausting and the next day I need an easy day. I feel lighter, I feel new, I feel like I've shed layers, I feel healthier. It's amazing. It's amazing to do this work. Also, since I last saw you, I've facilitated at least 3 more medicine sessions where I am not working with the medicine, but I am facilitating for someone else. I have watched miracle after miracle happen in people's lives. It is so beautiful. One woman I worked with has lost 40 friends or loved ones in her life. And during her session, she was able to make contact with all 40 of those loved ones in her life, make peace with them, and have closure with them and feel good about moving forward from all of that loss in her life. Physical healings, emotional healings, relationship healings, it's all happening. It's all beautiful. And I'm so, 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 so grateful to be doing this work. But one thing that people don't really understand is that it's not all rainbows and butterflies and roses. When you step into working with somebody like me, you're stepping into the wild unknown. You're opening up all of the things that you want healed. And so that transitional period between this version of you and the new healed version of you, it is a journey, and it needs to be well supported and well integrated as you open up all of these wounds so that they can breathe and heal and be released, so that you can have freedom from them and integrate them so that they can be your superpower. Instead of weighing you down, they can help build you up and help you connect with people and help bring opportunities into your life and literally heal you instead of cause you pain and suffering. All things are neutral, and all energy, even the energy within our body, can be transmuted. And our consciousness is such a powerful part of that. It's literally everything. So what a joy to be teaching this stuff. I love it so much. And there are exciting things on the horizon happening. I am going to be creating some live channeling transmissions, as well as like paid events where people can come and watch me channeling, where I'm full body channeling and I'm being grounded by trusted people, so that these messages can be brought through, and so that I can share the passion and the messages of my heart. There is so much that I want to share, that I want to expose the world to. These energies are high vibration energies, and just opening yourself to a channeling transmission and opening your heart to it and opening your mind to it is literally allowing yourself to receive a healing transmission of energy. It's beyond the words. It's beyond the verbal message. It's a whole energetic experience. And Jesus Kate wants me to explain to the world that she can reach countless people individually all at once, because she is a very, very, very high intelligence without limits. And so whoever opens their heart to her, she can work with them individually. So if I can do a live energetic transmission, a channeling transmission with Jesus Kate, everybody can receive her energy on the level that they are open to it. And so I need to just bravely show up for that. And I am getting closer and closer to doing that. And I thank each one of you who have stuck by me, who have believed in me, who have given me faith and confidence in myself, because this is scary work. It's vulnerable work. People have been burned at the stake for this work. And I have been in hiding with this work for so long. And it's finally starting to feel like it is time. It is time to really start sharing and opening myself to everyone who is willing to listen and open their hearts to the messages that I have to share. So one last thing I wanted to mention is our podcast. Me and my amazing co-parents, Jake, Tiff, and AJ, all are doing a podcast together. It's called No Dysfunction Here. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much anywhere where you can find podcasts. We're there. We're also doing it video now, so we'll be on YouTube as well. And I think we have a TikTok page in the works. So I'm super, super duper excited for 2025 to continue to do that podcast, to really open up and to share some really vulnerable things that our family has been through, the things that we have learned that have strengthened us and helped us to come together as a family and to heal and to grow and to be our best selves together. So we're really excited to be sharing that. So check that out if you are interested. And yay for a new year and showing back up for this shit. I promise I'll be more consistent. This is just the beginning. We're just getting started. I love you all. Jesus, Kate loves you all. All of these beings love you all, and they're so excited to connect with you. So have a wonderful day wherever you are. I'm sending you my love and namaste.